Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is day 129, Tuesday, July the 11th, 2017. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I am recording this video, it is late in the evening, close to midnight on July the 10th. Almost exactly 1 year, almost exactly within a couple hours of 1 year to the day that Seth Rich was murdered. And we still don't know the truth, and it doesn't appear that any of the authorities who would be in position to get the truth have any interest in doing so. We will just have to keep pushing, keep watching, and hopefully a private citizen with some information will come forward, and that's probably the only way we'll get to the truth, because the swamp monsters have no interest in the truth. And this is becoming more evident by the day. Okay, first up, Susan Collins. Susan Collins, whose liberal ideology will probably make getting a health care reform bill passed nearly impossible. She's holding out for a much more liberal agenda. She loved Obamacare. I think she probably would have voted for it had her colleagues not talked her out of it. But Susan Collins is now out there suggesting that they need to call in Donald Trump Jr. to talk to him about the meeting with the Russian lawyer at Trump Tower. You idiot. Don't you know that first of all, he was a private citizen and he can meet with a Russian lawyer if he likes to discuss adoption, soccer, or Russian vodka, or any damn thing he wants. Susan Collins, Republican, senator from Maine. If she's your senator, next time she comes up for re-election, vote her out. So she wants Donald Trump Jr. to come in and testify. I guess she didn't see my previous video where I laid out exactly what happened there. What happened there, Susan Collins, and what you should be having an investigation into, is Fusion GPS. It was a person or persons closely associated with GPS Fusion that set up the meeting at Trump Tower, allegedly to discuss damaging information about Hillary Clinton. But once Don Jr., Paul Manafort, and Jared Kushner got together with this lawyer, they determined that she really didn't have much information at all about damaging information about Hillary, and what she really wanted to talk about was the pissing contest that had gone on between Obama and Vladimir Putin. At some point, Obama decided to punish Putin by not allowing Americans to adopt Russian babies, and Putin countered by not allowing Americans to adopt Russian babies. It was a pissing contest between Obama and Putin. That's what that was all about. And this lawyer in question, female lawyer, Russian lawyer, Natalia Valenskaya, was in New York to provide legal services to a Russian businessman who was accused of fraud in a civil suit brought by former U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara. Valenskaya met with Trump Jr., Manafort, and Kushner on June 9, 2016 at Trump Tower, allegedly to reveal damaging information about Hillary, but after about 20 minutes they realized that her main interest was in discussing this issue regarding adoption between the United States and Russia, and so on and so on. And they ended the meeting realizing that she wasn't exactly representing what she was supposed to be talking about, and that she really didn't have much information at all, and they really didn't have much interest in continuing the conversation with her, and that was it. Nothing there, Susan Collins. The only thing that's there that you might want to look into is Fusion GPS, setting up the meeting, cold, without giving them any real information about who they would be speaking with. All they said was, yeah, this person may have some information about possibly Russia and the Clinton campaign colluding, working together to do damage to the Trump administration or something in that vein. That's what's going on, Susan Collins. Wake up, you idiot. Next up, Hillary Clinton's aides met with Ukrainian government officials and journalists. Now, this is being reported by Politico, not exactly a right-wing mag, a true left-wing publication. Hillary Clinton aides met with Ukrainian government officials and journalists to dig up dirt on Team Trump. This information was gathered and sent to the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton's campaign team. That would be the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee colluding with the Ukrainian government, a foreign government, to dig up information that would be damaging to a U.S. presidential candidate. And in fact, at that time, he had clinched the nomination and was running against Hillary. I'm sure that Susan Collins will want to look into that. Yes, I'm sure she will. Jim Hoff from the Gateway Pundit, an anonymous Twitter account that goes by the name White Rabbit, just dropped 28,000 Hillary Clinton private emails. I'm sure they'll get busy looking at those. I'm sure Susan Collins and Mr. Mueller will be very busy reading those 28,000 private Hillary emails. Probably came off of her illegal server. They're probably about yoga and her grandchildren. Also, probably the most interesting development in the past 48 hours is this mysterious IT specialist who just published a detailed report that appears to dispense of the theory that the DNC was hacked by the Russians. Now, I've read through this. I have a Bachelor of Science in the computer sciences, and it was over my head, but I could generally gather the points that he was making, but it does get quite technical. However, I am going to provide a link. I highly encourage you to read this. Now, this individual also states, when he drops this information, he states that he does have more information and that he doesn't want to come public right now, which suggests that this individual may be willing to come forward and actually be interviewed, or maybe appear before a committee, or speak to the Attorney General or a U.S. Attorney or someone. Clearly, he is far better at computer forensic analysis than the FBI, because he was able to look at the original files from Guccifer 2. We're talking about the files that were in question that were examined, which are the NGP-VAN files, the .7 zip file that's in question, and he's examined that and found some very interesting things. He's found that the documents were copied 5 days before Seth Rich's death. He's found that the estimated speed of transfer was 23 megabytes per second. My friends, 23 megabytes per second, let me tell you, I do know this much. There is no fiber optic connection, there is no connection that I'm aware of that will allow you to transfer files at 23 megabytes per second. That is cruising. The only way that you could get that kind of speed of data transfer is to be transferring something directly off the server onto a direct node on that network. Ain't no way you could go through any internet connection. Not fiber optic, not DSL, not cable, nothing will allow you to download at 23 megabytes per second. If this is true, then you can absolutely kiss away any allegation that there was an outside hack. Ain't no way. There's no way that you can get 23 megabytes per second download speed through any type of internet connection, including fiber optic. If this is true, this is the end of the Russian narrative, although I thought we were already there. But as this IT tech is stating, and he's obviously a damn good one, this could not have been done remotely, which is exactly what I just said. There's absolutely no way. I have a lot of experience at this particular subject. We did a lot of downloading and things when I was in school. We did a lot of looking at data speeds and downloading and the various forms of internet that we use, everything from dial-up to DSL to coax to fiber optic. Believe me, 23 megabytes per second is not possible to any internet connection that I'm aware of. Now, maybe the government has something that's fast as the speed of light, but that's fiber optic. And not even fiber optic, my friends, will give you 23 megabytes per second. No way. He also states the files had to be copied over a LAN, that's a local area network, or directly from the network server. Exactly what I was just saying. You would actually have to be a node on that network in that server. And I'll be honest with you, with the he had to disconnect from any type of security software, because even if you have McAfee or anything like that, even if you're going directly off the server, we downloaded plenty of stuff directly off the server. We would download lots of programs, Linux programs and things like that, just to download them, load them, dump them. We did it all. We did it for 2 weeks in school to get to understand how to dump an old system, an old operating system, and reload a new operating system and go through the whole setup and everything. We did this over and over again, and we took these, we downloaded these right from the server, direct from the node. We could see what kind of upload speeds we were getting, and I can tell you that we had some software, security software, that would slow us way down. And I can tell you that even to get 23 megabytes download speed, even if you were on the local area network, the LAN, or even if you were plugged directly into the server with a flash drive, if you had any security software running, you would not even be able to get that kind of speed. So, you know, they had someone, it's almost like someone went into the server room and bypassed the security, plugged right into the damn server with a flash drive and pulled the information directly out of the server. That's what it looks like to me. The files were copied to a USB, giving more evidence that the files were extracted locally. This is exactly what I said. If some of you remember in my Seth Rich video, and everyone says it was a failed robbery, and I suggested possibly it was a successful robbery, and maybe what they wanted was not money or his watch or his credit cards or anything like that. Maybe what they wanted was a flash drive. Maybe they realized that Seth Rich was in the process of downloading all this material, and they figured it out. And maybe he was carrying around with him on his neck or on some part of his body a flash drive containing data that he had downloaded from the server. Maybe that's why he had the struggle, because they were trying to get that flash drive that was probably on a band around his neck or something. Some people, like I used to wear my flash drive around like a necklace thing, and I would wear my flash drive off my necklace. Maybe he had the flash drive on him, and that's what they were trying to do. And wrestling him was trying to wrestle that flash drive away from him before they shot him. Just a suggestion. Just an opinion. The timestamp on the files, and I know about this very, very well. Again, something else we looked at. The timestamp on the files indicated that the person copying was in the Eastern time zone. It couldn't have been Russia or anywhere in Europe, which means that our good friend Goose4 2.0 was giving us bullshit, which most of us knew anyway. He's not a very reliable source. I never believed the Goose4 2.0, and I believe he was just trying to get some attention. He was going to jail anyway. He might as well draw some attention to himself. Maybe he thought he could cut a deal or something. I've never had much confidence in Goose4 2.0, but it appears at this point, if it was uploaded or downloaded, and the copying was done, and you can see the exact time. Again, if you'll look at the link I provide for you, he actually gives you a look at the page where you can actually look at the file and you can actually see exactly what the time was of the upload, when it started and when it ended. You can see the time zone. He was in the Eastern time zone. The files were published as ngp.van by Goose4 2.0, and it was a .7 zip drive. So this suggests that the files known as ngp.van were copied by someone with access to a system connected to the DNC internal network, and this action had no bearing on the files submitted to WikiLeaks, and were most likely unassociated with Rich and were not remotely hacked from Russia. What this appears to tell us is that maybe what we're looking at was that this entire operation was a covert action by the DNC, the Clinton campaign, and CrowdStrike to create a false narrative of a Russian hack, and that what they may have done to help buttress this or support this was create, CrowdStrike I'm talking, or whoever they were working with, to create a false hack in their computer, to basically say it was a hack. But in fact, all of the things that were done were all done internally within the LAN, the local area network, meaning the entire thing was a covert operation. It was a setup operation. That's what it looks like to me. What role Seth Rich had to play, I don't know. Maybe this is what Seth Rich discovered. Maybe Seth Rich discovered that there was something weird going on. Maybe he saw this data transfer, and maybe that's what he was going to blow the whistle on. That there was some strange activity going on within the system. Who knows? It's a mighty tangled web at this point. We certainly need some answers. And what you would need to do is to take a look at that server, Mr. Sessions. I know you're busy. I know you're busy, Jeff. The Attorney General, that's a big job. We've all been following very closely at all the hard work you've been doing and all the results you've been getting. We can see how you've actually been out there prosecuting things like the Clinton Foundation, the crimes by Comey, the crimes by Lynch, the crimes by Rice, the crimes by everyone. But apparently, I know you're a busy man. You've probably got crossword puzzles to do, maybe some finger painting, paint by number. Maybe you're sitting in the bathtub farting and biting the bubbles. I don't know what it is. But apparently you're very busy with something, Mr. Sessions, because there's a lot of crimes that are going on all around you, and you seem to be freaking oblivious to all of it. Perhaps you should watch one of my videos, Mr. Sessions. Hillary Clinton. She's a mess. Now, this mysterious IT guy goes by the name, the Forensicator. You got to be careful with that one, the Forensicator. He states that the documents were copied 5 days before Seth Rich's death. So how Seth Rich ties into this, I really don't know. But the more that you look at this, not suggesting that Seth Rich wasn't copying files, not suggesting that Seth Rich wasn't onto something or involved in some way with what was happening there at the DNC, because clearly there was something very shady going on. Something very shady going on. It almost looks to me like the DNC, the Clinton campaign, and CrowdStrike were trying to simulate a hack for some sort of cover, and maybe that's what Seth Rich discovered. Maybe Seth Rich was the one who was downloading files, and they discovered it and decided that there was no way to erase the record of that, and maybe they needed to go in and do some work to come up with a cover story. And maybe in the process of doing that, they came up with this Russian narrative, the Russian hack, and thought that might play well into their hand. Who knows? What we do need to know is what the hell is on that DNC server. What's on that hard drive? That's what the answers are. None of these questions should be mysteries to us. None of these questions should be mysteries. Comey should have issued subpoenas for that server. Attorney General Sessions, on day one, upon being sworn in, before he even warmed the seat on his chair in his office, should have filed the subpoena for those servers. The current FBI director should be filing a subpoena for those servers. The heads of the intelligence and oversight committees should be filing a subpoena for those servers. Everybody wants to look at the servers. Everybody knows we need to look at the servers. Everybody knows the servers are the key to this whole damn thing. And no one wants to look at the servers. What the hell is going on? One-year anniversary of Seth Rich's murder. We know nothing more than we knew the day after. It appears that for the past 8 months, they've been trying to find some collusion. Still looking for that collusion. Susan Collins still looking for that collusion. John McCain still looking for that collusion. Robert Mueller, James Comey still probably trying to find the leakers. By the way, 125 leaks in 126 days. Each one of them a felony. That's 125 felonies. Not a single damn one has been sniffed out. Despite the fact that if you put me in charge, I promise you I would get the guy who outed Flynn, who sent that. That's an easy one. That came from Signal Intelligence. There's only a few dozen people that work in that particular office. Everyone that comes into that office has to do a thumb scan and an eye scan. Every single thing that's done in that room is supervised. Every single damn thing that's done in that room goes into a log sheet. Every single damn thing about what happened regarding the interception of that conversation with Michael Flynn and the Russian ambassador, the entire history of that fucking thing can be tracked from beginning to end in a matter of hours. There's some bad voodoo going on here, my friends. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? They can't find the collusion yet. We have James Comey colluding with his friend at Columbia University to leak a classified piece of information to the New York Times for the purpose of getting a special prosecutor, which ended up being James Comey's best friend, Bob Mueller, to go after Trump. The purpose being to get a special prosecutor to go after Trump. That is collusion between James Comey, his friend, and the New York Times, and the deep state, who followed up with the leak. We have collusion between Bill Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, his wife, Mr. Gustra, Russian oligarchs, lots of money being passed, lots of money going into the Clinton Foundation, lots of favors being granted. There we find collusion. We apparently have now found collusion between the Hillary Clinton campaign, the Democratic National Committee, and the government of Ukraine. That's a foreign government. We know that we have collusion between Fusion GPS, the Democratic National Committee, a Clinton donor, which I have no doubt is Hillary Clinton herself, and the dossier issue. We have some collusion between John McCain and a foreign agent named Christopher Steele to procure a false document which John McCain gave to the FBI director for the purpose of bringing down the president of his own party. We have some collusion there. Maybe we should talk to Mr. Magoo. What do you think about that, Mrs. Collins? Think we should talk to Mr. Magoo? I think we should. Maybe we should talk to people at Fusion GPS. You seem to be awful interested in talking to Donald Trump Jr. You need to be talking to Fusion GPS. And I don't mean fucking asking. It's called a subpoena. There is reasonable suspicion that they were involved in criminal activity regarding the 2016 election. You do not ask these people. You give them a subpoena. You do not ask if you can look at the server. You go get it. You do not ask Susan Rice if she wants to come in and talk. You slap the damn handcuffs on her. You charge her. You let her make bail. You see the grand jury and a judge. And you prosecute. Same with Loretta Lynch. We have James Comey admitting, under oath, in front of everybody, on camera, that Loretta Lynch told him to change the characterization of the investigation to a matter. That's obstruction. What are we waiting for? As soon as James Comey walked out of those hearings admitting that he leaked this information to his buddy at Columbia University, he should have been perp walked out of there. As soon as he admitted that Loretta Lynch advised him to basically obstruct the investigation, they should have went and slapped handcuffs on her. And they're not doing any of it. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but the Democrats control everything, right? Well, apparently they do. We'll see if the Pitbull, Trey Gowdy, that hardcore prosecutor, that Pitbull, we'll see if he jumps on this. Oh, we don't want to interrupt their summer vacation. They only have a couple more sessions, and then back they go for summer vacation. They may not have time to get to any of these crimes. They got money to raise. They have babies to kiss. Asses to kiss. Lots to be done so they can get reelected. And if any of you vote for a damn one of these people, you need your head examined. Unbelievable. Everywhere you look, there's crime. Massive crime. People admitting crimes. People admitting crimes under oath. We have physical evidence. Loretta Lynch, she denies that the email is true. Miss Renteria says she doesn't know her. Is Miss Renteria also going to say that the email was fake? And that Comey and the FBI were duped? Is that what's going to happen? Is Comey going to say, yeah, well, I guess they're right. I guess we got it wrong. I guess that email was a Russian fake and we fell for it. Yep, that happens every day. Man, oh man. So here we are, day 129. We have evidence of crime, massive crime, high crime, all around. The Attorney General seems to be preoccupied. Susan Collins, the Republican from Maine, seems to be interested in talking to Donald Trump Jr. about his interest in possibly adopting a Russian baby. We have the Hillary Clinton's now, her campaign and the DNC coordinating with Ukrainian intelligence and government officials to try to destroy Trump. No problem with that whatsoever. I'm sure that's perfectly legal and all above board. Don't expect CNN or the New York Times will be interested in looking into that. Don't expect Susan Collins or John McCain or Lindsey Graham or Trey Gowdy or any of the damn swamp monsters will be interested in looking into that. No big deal. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. That's right. That's what we got. You know, it's as I've been saying for a very long time, the only way we're ever going to bring anybody to justice, hold anybody accountable, is if some whistleblower comes out, some good journalist comes out and actually gets a really good scoop with a source they can actually go on the record with. Or if each and every one of us just get to the point we just can't take it anymore and we just threaten to hang every damn one of them from lampposts. And whatever you do, when the 2018 elections come up, don't vote for the current member of Congress, be he Republican or Democrat or she. Vote for some honest guy from your community. Some guy that's owned a small business for years. That's lived in your community for years. Some honest man. Vote for him. Stop re-electing these people. You can see what they're about. They clearly have no interest in getting to the truth. And they don't even care. It's beyond me. I cannot believe what I'm witnessing. Massive evidence of massive crimes by the Clintons, by Lynch, by Comey, by Rice. GPS fusion now involved in much more than just the dossier. We got John McCain trying to sabotage his own president. The Republicans still backslap with him, still raise money for him, still refer to him as the honorable senator from Arizona. That man should have been drummed out of town. You conspire in an activity to bring down the president of your own party, which would do great damage to your own party. Man, oh man. Just unbelievable. And yet, all they can do is go after Trump. All these other people involved in all this criminal activity, admitting the criminal activity under oath, having factual documentation, having a server where the evidence exists that could prove every bit of this or disprove every bit of this. They're not interested. Not interested in filing any charges. They'll ask nicely if Susan Rice and Loretta Lynch want to come in. Please come and testify. Please. Oh, behind closed doors? Not under oath? Bring your lawyers? Don't answer any damn questions? Forget or not recall anything? Oh, that's good. That's good. That works for us. Okay. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. It's like, I don't know. I just don't know where. Where do you go from here? I mean, for all this time that we've been having these videos and these conversations amongst us, everybody's just waiting for some evidence. Yet we have mountains of evidence, tons of circumstantial evidence, tons of reasonable suspicion, lots of probable cause. We have people testifying under oath to crimes. We have people testifying under oath to crimes that they were in the presence of. We have GPS fusion obviously involved in various activities. We have Hillary Clinton and involved in her activities in Ukraine, obviously up to her eyeballs, probably with fusion GPS. And if the truth is known, she probably was the big donor, or was behind the big donor who was paying fusion GPS. This entire gigantic thing that we can all clearly see was a operation by the DNC, the Clinton campaign, many Republican members of Congress, the entire deep state, the intelligence community, to destroy a presidential candidate and then destroy his presidency. This is what we have. And we have plenty of evidence, circumstantial evidence, that would lead us to that conclusion. We have servers we could be looking at. We have witnesses we could be hearing from. We could be bringing some real pressure on some people with the facts that we have if we were conducting a real investigation, trying to get to the truth. But apparently there's no one anywhere near the swamp who's interested in getting anywhere near the truth. What they want is to have a dog and pony show. They want to get reelected. They want to pick up some FaceTime, and they'll let the president just be destroyed by his enemies while they sit back and do nothing, and in many cases actually collaborate with the enemies of the president, members of his own party. So, we knew this was going to be tough. We know when you take on the deep state, you're talking about the whole deep state. You're not just talking about Democrats. You're talking about Republicans too. You're talking about the intelligence agencies. You're talking about the law enforcement community. You're talking about the press. You're talking about foreign governments, foreign intelligence agencies. You're talking about the whole damn thing, folks. That's what you're talking about. That's what we're up against. Donald Trump and us. But we don't sit on committees. We don't have subpoena power. We don't have arrest power. We can't issue search warrants. We can't do any of these things. All we can do is elect people who we believe will do these things. So I urge you, as I'm going to do, to send an email or place a phone call, let your representative know that we're sick of it, that we need to actually get to the bottom of this stuff, and that they better start standing up for the president, and that they better prosecute these crimes. They have what? 2 or 3, 4 more days that they're going to meet before they go on vacation again. They just got back from a 2-week vacation. Then they'll go on vacation for a month in September, or for August. Then they'll come back and they'll have a couple meetings. Oh, but then Labor Day comes up. They'll take a 10-day weekend, a 10-day vacation there. Every holiday that you get a 3-day weekend, they take 10. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. These people are lazy. They're feckless. They're ineffective. They're crooked. They're disgusting. They stink. And I'm sick of them. And I'm sure a lot of you are too. So, we'll continue to follow the TowerGate story. And God willing, an honest whistleblower will come forward. Or some good reporters will actually get a source they can go on the record with. Or something will happen. Because I can damn well assure you that the Republicans in charge of these committees have no interest in getting to the truth. None. Zero. It's all a show. It's all a game. But I'll continue to follow the story till hell freezes over. So, that is TowerGate for day 129, July the 11th, 2017, on the eve following the anniversary of the death of Seth Rich. Another question that still hasn't been answered. Another cover-up that's going on. More criminal activity associated probably with the DNC, the Clintons. No truth there either. No one's interested in looking at that. Nothing to see here. Move along, folks. Just a dead guy who worked at the DNC. No big deal. It's all good. Alrighty. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your commenting on the videos, your thumbs up, sharing the videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what the hell else we can come up with. See you guys.